Have you ever seen a judge cry in court? Not from frustration, but from heartbreak. What could possibly make a seasoned judge used to hearing the worst humanity has to offer burst into tears in front of an entire courtroom? This case wasn't just another docket number. It was a story so devastating, so twisted, and so deeply emotional that it left everyone, from jury members to hardened prosecutors, completely shaken. And by the end of it, justice wouldn't just be served. It would roar through the courtroom like a storm on a cold Monday morning in rural Georgia. A young woman named Elena Carter stood trial for attempted murder. She was accused of stabbing her husband, Richard Carter, a respected businessman and church elder. The media had already painted her as a cold-blooded attacker. Headlines read, "Wife snaps and tries to kill husband in his sleep." But behind those headlines lay a story no one saw coming. One that would force the court to question everything they thought they knew about justice, abuse, and survival from the beginning. Nothing added up. Elena, a quiet school librarian, had no history of violence. Neighbors described her as gentle, kind, and deeply devoted to Richard. But when police arrived at the scene, she was covered in blood, clutching the knife, muttering to herself, "It's finally over." In her police statement, Elena confessed that something in her eyes didn't match her words. There was no triumph, no anger, just hollow exhaustion. And then came the medical report. Elena's body was covered in old bruises, healed fractures, and scars hidden beneath her clothes. She had multiple rib fractures that had never been treated. It was clear she had been living in silence, and in fear. In court, Elena barely spoke. But everything changed when her sister, Emily, took the stand. Her testimony changed everything. Emily revealed that Elena had been trapped in a living nightmare for over a decade. Richard had controlled every aspect of her life, her finances, her friends, her movements. He installed cameras in their home, monitored her phone, and isolated her from family with the most chilling detail. Elena had gone to the police 4 times in 5 years, and each time, her claims of abuse were dismissed. Richard's status in the community protected him. He was too respected to be guilty. And then came the final blow, a secret audio recording played in court. Elena had hidden a small recorder under the floorboards. The courtroom fell silent as Richard's voice filled the air. "You belong to me. No one will ever believe you. I could kill you, and they'd call it an accident." Gasps echoed across the room. The judge, Judge Marion Holloway, sat stunned. Her hands trembled as she tried to compose herself. When Elena finally took the stand, her voice cracked as she described years of torment. Her breaking point came the night Richard threatened to kill their son during a drunken rage. That night, as he slept, Elena snapped. She acted not out of hatred, but desperation. And then, it happened. Judge Holloway broke down in tears. With tears streaming down her face, she whispered, "This court has failed you. The system failed you." The room went quiet. Elena wasn't just a defendant anymore, she was a survivor. After deliberation, the jury returned with their verdict, not guilty. Elena walked free not as a killer, but as a woman who fought back when no one else would protect her. Judge Holloway took the extraordinary step of launching an investigation into the police department for mishandling domestic abuse cases, vowing no woman should ever suffer in silence again. Elena's case became a national symbol of survivor justice. Her story sparked protests, reforms, and a new law bearing her name to protect victims of domestic abuse. This wasn't just a courtroom victory, it was a reckoning. One woman's voice, once silenced, shook the walls of justice itself. And as for Judge Holloway, her tears weren't just for Elena. They were for every woman who was never heard, never saved, and never believed.